So as we begin this morning to start off our program, we're asked for our grass dancers out to the arena. They would not only ask for these individuals to come into an area before any ceremony or before anything had taken place, not only bringing down the grass, but bringing in the good to consider the showing the move of the grass, but at the same time as the numerous of societies that are carried on when it comes to what we consider the nature of the societies that we have when it comes to not only the grass dance. So why don't you put your hands together for TJ and the little whiny guy over here, that's Rollin. And then we had Joshua Mowat. So give them a big hand as we get started with our program. And we're going to go right into what we consider or call the grass dance, and we hope you enjoy it. Give him a big hand. As we sit here and we get started with a lot of the different dances as well as a lot of the different things, we really enjoy coming out here and educating people about not only the regalia that is worn, but the numerous of traditions that go into what we consider our dancing. So we hope that you'll enjoy it as we begin with what we consider or call our women's traditional. Like the women's traditional comes from a numerous of areas when it comes to not only the northern and the southern. Like these northern dancers, you'll see not only the movements of what we consider a very graceful as well what we consider the backbone of everything that we do when it comes to our children, as well as when it comes to the men that are taken care of. On the far side away from me, actually this is Bobby Orr. She's a Salish flathead from Montana. Give her a big hand. And to the right of me, we have Donna Delgadillo. Give her a big hand, a Cherokee from the Tennessee area. Then over here to the left, we have Melissa Fain. Give her a big hand, dressed in what we consider a Comanche dress. So more or less she became a captive. You know, when it came to a lot of things that we do when it comes to not only tradition, you'll see what we consider the resemblance of the regalia from the northern as well as what we consider the southern style. In one hand, each and every one of these young ladies are carrying what we consider or call a shawl. For the shawl was not only used in a numerous of times, but when it came to not only the times of war, when it came to an individual as well as some of these women that took care of their sons and their husbands. During the war times, they would actually use these shawls to actually come into the war field and actually look for their sons, or even sometimes to even just throw a blanket over the ones that have returned from war. As you would see in the other hand, they are carrying what we consider a dance fan. For the dance fan is used in a numerous of ways and not made from a numerous of what we consider eagle feathers, as well as the numerous of things that are used in what we consider the wing or the tail feathers of an eagle. As you'd see them bowing down in honor of the earth, you'll see the numerous of moves that are still being done and actually in honor of themselves as well as the services that they have done for themselves as well as for the military. So we hope that you'll enjoy this category as we bring you the women's northern and southern traditional. We hope you enjoy it. Oh, yeah, give them a big hand. All right. Like a lot of times, there are a lot of things that go into the regalia, like Bobby as well as Donna. Each one of them has served not only in the military, but there are numerous items that they carry on their regalia that shows the resemblance or the service time that they had while they were in the military. At the same time, we not only recognize these different things, but the numerous of people that actually serve for this country and earning the different medals as well as earning the different rights that they have in terms of what we consider the relationship that we have with the military. Like our next category, we're going to bring out one of the oldest categories that we have, and it's what we consider or call the men's northern traditional. For the traditional category not only comes from the northern parts of the country, but as you look at this young man as he makes his way into the circle, why don't you put your hands together for John Banta. Give him a big hand. As you would see directly on his back, he is wearing what we consider or call a bustle. For the bustle not only resembles what we consider the engagement in war, but the eagle feathers that are used and earned during war times is actually showing the uprights that actually recognize the bow and the arrow, along with the drag that actually tells the story of his engagement in war. As you see him not only looking on the ground, looking for the trail of his enemy, he'll indicate that trail by using what we consider the dance stick, along with their dance fan to indicate that trail. Directly on his head, he is wearing what we consider or call a roach. And the roach is made from the guard hairs of a porcupine along with the pretty colors of deer tail that is all tied together and sewn together on a base, along with what we consider his veteran feathers that are put directly on his head and what we consider the most valuable feathers that he has to our creator. A long time ago, they would consider this almost like a manger that they would carry on top of their heads, not only telling the story of their engagement, but also sitting there showing the movements of the trail for their enemy. So we hope that you'll enjoy this category. Give John a big hand as we go right into the men's northern traditional. Give him a big hand. All right. There's like a lot of things, that go into what we consider relating to the earth. Like a lot of different things that we actually have when it comes to our dances. A lot of the dances that are handed down from generation to generation at the same time as the numerous of items and things, and not only the stories that go along with the regalia, but the stories that go along with the dancing. Like a lot of these dances have originated around the turn of the century, but a lot of them have really came out of the closet and what we consider a very valuable asset to what we consider the circle. Our next category that we're going to call out is our women's jingle. For the jingle dress comes from the northern parts of the country and what we consider a very valuable asset to not only to our people or to what we consider the very valuable asset to their dancing. So why don't you sit there and put your hands together for Tasha Delgadillo. Give her a big hand. It took her a little while to snap out of it this morning, but we got her going, you know. As you would look at the dress and not only the regalia that is worn, the dress not only represents 365 days of the year, but you look at the pretty cones that are put upon this dress. On these cones, it not only represents the tobacco of what we consider the Mother Earth, but the numerous of stories that go along with this dress and what we consider a young lady asking for a healing. When she came to our elders, not only asking for a healing to heal herself, they gave her almost an entire year to prepare herself to coming into the circle. She represented that year by what we consider or call the jingle. For the jingle not only represents the tobacco, but each one of these jingles are made from the lids of tobacco. And it represents 365 days of the year, plus 4 for the 4 directions. As you'd see her not only moving and shuffling her feet and moving around in different directions, actually we consider this a very valuable asset to what we consider or call the medicine dress. So we hope that you'll enjoy this category. Give Tasha a big hand as we go right into the women's jingle. Like a lot of things that we do when it not only comes to what we consider the drum. We consider the drum the heartbeat of all nations, for a drum does not know the denomination or creed or color, in which not only individuals throughout the world that actually have their own drums, like the Irish, they have their kilts, as well as their Irish drums, and the different people that carry a lot of drums throughout the world. Like a lot of different times, we believe that there's a lot of things that come into the heartbeat of what we consider all nations. So we hope that you enjoy a lot of the songs as well as a lot of the dances. Our next category that we're going to call out is we're going to bring you a dance that comes from out of Oklahoma, and we're going to bring you the men's straight dance. For the straight dances originated around the turn of the century when it came to not only our Indian people, as well as the numerous of tribes that actually were involved in Oklahoma and what we consider the peace treaties that they had at one time. They not only recognized the numerous of these individuals that were fighting for this country, but the individuals that were considered other when it came to not only fighting at the same time as serving for our country. Today we consider it what we call the straight dance, where it originated from what we consider the Ponca people. When it came to not only the numerous of things that our warriors had done, but the numerous of things that they still do today, not only recognizing the representation of war, but the representation that they had in what we consider serving for the military service. As you look at these two young brothers across from each other, we got over here, we got Jeff Delgadillo, along with his brother over here. What's his name? Joe Delgadillo. I mean, I had to sit here and remember these names because we go to so many different places. As you see them not only looking on the ground, looking for the trail of their enemy, as you would look at the regalia that is worn, Directly on the side of them, they are wearing what we consider the tabs. For these tabs were used not only for engagements in war, but at the same time was able to tie themselves to their horses and leave their hands free for the engagement in war. Or if an individual was knocked off his horse or wounded, they actually could ride by and use these tabs to pick them up and take them to safety. As you see them looking on the ground, looking for the trail of their enemy, we consider this the gentleman's dance, or the gracefulness that comes from out of Oklahoma. So why don't you give these two young men a big hand as we bring you an exhibition of the street dance. Hello, give them a big hand. Like a lot of things that actually come to us not only from different areas, but the numerous things that are recognized when it comes to not only the Mother Earth. Like our next category, we consider this a very valuable asset not only to our young ladies, but to the category that these young ladies dance in. So we're going to call out our women's fancy. So why don't you put your hands together for Amanda Martinez. Dang, I actually remembered her name this time. Like Amanda, as well as the numerous of young ladies that not only compete themselves against a lot of the young men, but at the same time was the numerous of things that were brought to us from our Creator and what we consider the fancy dance or the butterfly dance. As you would see, draped over her shoulders is what we call a shawl. For the shawl not only resembles the wings of the butterfly, but also the pretty fringe that is used in this category to show the movements of a butterfly in flight. As you see her twisting and turning and using her legs and her arms in a certain manner of showing what we consider the butterfly in flight. As you would see, not only the pretty plumes that are used in her hair, but we consider this a very valuable asset when it comes to not only our Indian people, but we believe when it came to not only a young lady as well as turning into what we consider a very valuable asset to what we consider the circle is the butterfly. So we hope that you'll enjoy this category. Give her a big hand. This is Amanda Martinez as we go right into the women's fancy. Give them a big hand. Like a lot of times and a lot of things that we not only talk about when it relates to the earth, like myself, I'm a Comanche from out of Lawton, Oklahoma. When it came to not only the language as well as the traditions that come into what we consider the resources of our people, we were considered what they consider the lords of the plains, as we not only called ourselves the Numina, but the Numina not only meant the lords of the plains as well as what we consider the people. Like a lot of things that we do when it comes to not only the circle, we represent a lot of different things that actually relate to the earth, as well as a lot of things that are traditionally brought to us into what we consider the circle. Like our next category, why don't you put your hands together for these two young men, as we're going to bring you a presentation of the Eagle Dance. For the eagle is held in high regards not only to all the natives in North America, but also in Canada. When it comes to not only the eagle, we believe that the eagle is a very high regarded spirit that is still used today. Like a lot of our Indian people that have to be regulated when it comes to these eagle feathers, we actually have to have a card that tells the degree of our Indian blood. Actually, to even possess these eagle feathers is to actually go through a lot of our tribal offices to actually get these feathers and retain these feathers throughout North America. Like a lot of the different moves that you'll see from these young men, you'll see them showing the movements of a young eagle in flight, at the same time as showing the movements of what we consider a valuable asset to not only the dancing part of it, but the valuable asset to the eagle. We believe that the eagle carries the spirit of our elders, and each and every time that one of these eagle feathers ever touched the ground, we believe that one of our brother veterans have passed over into the spirit world, or one of our elders have passed on to the spirit world. So we consider them a very valuable asset. We hope that you'll enjoy this category. Once you put your hands together for Joe Delgadillo and Josh Mowat. Give them a big hand as we go right into the exhibition of the Eagle Dance. Give him a big hand. We hope you enjoyed it. As we sit here and we move along into a lot of the different categories that we have at the same time as we're trying to catch up on our time, but we're going to bring you another presentation of what we consider a very valuable asset to what we consider the acrobatic part of what we consider dancing when it comes to not only our drum, but the numerous of things that these young men do when they come into the circle. So like this next category as well, we consider it a very valuable asset. Why don't you put your hands together for Josh Mowat and Jeff Delgadillo. We're We're going to bring you what we consider or call hoop dancing. As you see him not only going into his different designs, the more that you cheer and the more that you sit there and show them the respect that they needed for this category, the harder they're going to work. As you see them holding their different designs, it not only relates to what we consider the Mother Earth, but the numerous of things that individuals that sit there and recognize what we consider hoop dancing. So we hope that you'll enjoy this category. We hope you'll show your appreciation from these individuals and put your hands together and show them the appreciation that is needed. We hope you enjoy it. As we finish our presentation for this morning, we're trying to catch ourselves on time. We have a few minutes. I'm going to turn Donna on here. She'll be on for about 5 minutes before our Aztecs come on. But if you have any questions or if there's any pictures you want to take and whatsoever, feel free to come over here to our table and look at some of the items that we have. And we have face painting and whatsoever. You know, there's a number of things that we have to offer. If there's any information that you want to know about us, be sure and make your way over here to the table or come ask some questions of these dancers. You're welcome to come on over and talk to these guys. So we hope that you'll enjoy it. I'm going to turn the microphone over here to Donna Delgadillo, and she's going to tell you some real short stories for about 5 minutes, and then more or less our Aztecs will be coming on. So we hope you enjoyed it, and we thank you. We are the Plainsmen, and we hope you'll enjoy your morning here at Silver Springs. Cool.
Hello, everybody. Come on and sit down. Get a seat around the arena. You can sit anywhere on the hay bales. That's fine. My name is Donna, and I am Cherokee. And the way we say good morning is Osta Shunale. Osta? Can you say Osta?
Osta.
Osta Shunale.
Shunale. Osta
That means
Shunale.
good morning. So, you know, people ask how you say hello, goodbye, and things like that. Well, we don't have a word for goodbye. Most of the Indian nations do not have a word for goodbye because goodbye is so final. What we do say is we'll see you later or when we meet again, things like that. The way the Cherokee say it is "Dedadagohanya." So, what it means when we see you again. Anyway, so I'm going to tell you a little short story here. I think I'll tell the ones. Since we've got so many children and kids always have so many questions, I think I'm going to tell the one a good friend told me one time about why dogs sniff each other's tails when they meet. Do you know why? Does anybody know why? Well, you know, see, a long time ago, the dogs, they used to like to get together and they'd have their council meetings and decide, you know, how to govern themselves just like we do. And then after they had their council meetings and decided their important business, they would sing and dance and have a good time. Well, the place they'd like to meet was in this farmer's cornfield. And when they started singing and dancing in among all the corn stalks, the first thing they noticed was that their tails would whack against the corn stalks and it would hurt. So they decided, well, the best thing to do was just take their tails off and hang them up in the corn stalks. So that's what they did. And then they could sing and dance all night and not worry about whacking the corn stalks. Well, but they had to stay very, very quiet because if they got too loud, the farmer would come out and run them off. So they were out there singing and dancing and having a good time. Of course, you know, it always happens whenever somebody's singing and dancing, somebody gets a little loud. And then one dog, he starts going, oh, he's just having a good time. Well, the lookouts start hollering, here comes the farmer, everybody run, run, run. So the dogs start going every which way. And then they get a few feet out and they go, oh no, our tails. And they all run back and they grab the first tail they come to, slap it on, and off they run. And that's why today, when dogs meet each other, they sniff each other's tails to see if that other dog might have his.
We are close to nature, honoring and giving thanks for what we receive from them. This is a dance of the Shikuot, or the dance of the fire. Before we actually start this dance, we would like to advise the young audience not to imitate this dance. It's a dance in which a dancer becomes in contact with the fire in body and mind. It takes many years for the dancer to do this dance, and it is real fire. It does hurt us, but when we dance, we create energy, positive energy. I'm very sure you already have touched that topic in school about negative and positive energy. Our bodies is composed of that, but people, when they get older, they are able to measure and use mind and body and concentration along with the music itself to perform this dance. It's a very special dance, and we advise you not to imitate it. Thank you.
this time, we would like to thank you for your attention, for your respect, for participating with us as well. You know, when you hear of Native Americans, what comes to mind is what we see on TV. You know, there is Native Americans from the tip of South America to the tip of North America. Mexico is part of North America. We represent one of over 385 recognized tribes, communities, and cultures within Mexico alone. Mexico City is part, also known as Mesoamerica, which is a cradle of great cultures such as the Mayan, the Toltec, the Olmec, the Zapotec, and the Aztec. We are very honored to have been invited out here. Once again, to us it's a responsibility, to our families, to our previous generations, to continue learning these dances so that we are able to pass it on to our children. But also, every time that we travel to a new place, every time we share these dances with a new person, we are maintaining our culture alive. Because as you live here today, every one of you will take a small part of what you've seen take place in this circle. Perhaps something that was said, perhaps a part of a dance. But to us, each one of you will maintain our culture alive, because each one of you will be able to later on say that you were here, that you've seen these Aztec dances. To us, it is in a humble way that we are able to say we are very proud of the heritage that has been handed to us, and it is also a great obligation, because we are to continue doing these dances, we are to continue passing this on to our following generations. So on behalf of our family, we would like to thank every one of you in Silver Springs for having us out here once again. Our family will be back on at 12:15. We'll see you then. Thank you very much.